Hello, welcome to Yoga for Wellbeing with Sunrise. My name is Serena, and today we're going to do a quick flow to encourage good digestive health. So we're going to start at the top of our mat in mountain pose. So this is ideal after you've done a warm-up. So mountain pose, we're going to be at the top of our mat here, but I'll just show you. So just really ground down into your feet, spread your toes, feel the ground under all four corners of your feet underneath the hips, extended spine, shoulders back and down, and we're just going to ground here for a moment. I'll just go to the top of my mat. I'm going to ground here for a moment. I'm just going to take a really deep breath in, stretching the arms up, reaching up to the sky, and then we're going to fold forward into our forward fold and making sure we've got a really generous bend in the legs here. And we're just going to let our heads hang down, our shoulders, and just really feeling the extension in the spine here. Coming in to our tabletop from here, where we have a straight back, generous bend in the knees, and we can have our hands just below the knees or just above. And then inhaling, and on an exhale, folding back down to our forward fold. And this time grab hold of your elbows and just let your head hang. And we're going to just dangle here. You might want to sway from side to side. And just really feeling sensations in the digestive area here. And then we're going to inhale, coming back up to our mountain pose with extended arms. From here, we're going to come back into a warrior two. So we have a right angle on the front leg, back leg, the foot is at a 45-degree angle. We're just going to look over that front arm, just with a soft gaze over the fingers. Inhaling and coming down to our triangle pose. So straightening that front leg, bringing the hand down towards the floor. If it doesn't quite reach the floor, that's okay. You might want to use a block here just to help you. And then we're going to turn our head around, looking at the top arm, looking up to the sky. You might want to take a lovely deep breath here, breathing in. And then from here, we're going to rainbow the arms round. We're going to have our feet just wider than hip width apart. We're going to sink down into our garland pose. Again, you might want to have a block here to sit on. Taking a deep breath here. And when you're ready, we're going to gently roll the body up and then coming down into a wide leg forward fold. You might want to bring your feet slightly wider apart here. And again, we're going to just let the head hang down and dangle. If you can't quite get your hands to the floor, you can use a block here. Lovely. Breathing in. And on an exhale, we're going to really slowly bring ourselves back up to center. Nice deep breath here. And then we're going to stand up again at the top of our mat. I'm going to do it on the other side. So I'll do it at this end. You don't need to move. You don't need to change ends. So from here, we're going to repeat that. So we're going to bring the arms up, deep breath in, and then fold forward over the knees, generous bend in the legs. And just be here for a couple of breaths. And then coming up to our tabletop. So extending the spine, making sure the shoulders are rounded down to the back of your middle of your back, remembering to have a bend in the knees. Breathing in and then folding forward, and here you might want to grab your elbows and just dangle, just gently sway from side to side. And then on an in-breath, we're going to come back up to our mountain pose and raise the arms. From here, we're going to step back with the left foot into our warrior two on the other side now. So we have a bent front leg, we have a slight bend in the back leg here as well. But we just want to try and get our arms in a straight-ish line here. You might want to check, see where your back arm is. And a soft gaze here, looking over that front hand. It's a nice chance here to Just ground into the feet as well. We're opening up the digestive area here, opening up the chest. On an inhale, we're going to bring ourselves down to our triangle pose. So again, you might want to grab a block, making sure there's a nice generous bend in the knees. And if it feels okay, looking up to the ceiling. And then on an inhale, we're going to rainbow the arms around, bringing our hands to the side, bring our feet together. You might want to bring them in slightly because we're going to come down into a garland pose. So we are strengthening the hips, opening up the thighs, taking a breath here. And then we're going to slowly come up to our wide leg forward fold. Again, you might want to take the legs out a little bit. And we're going to fold forward from our waist, stretching the lower back. Taking a breath in, just letting our head dangle nice and loose on the neck. And then when it feels good, hands on the waist, really slowly coming up to a wide-legged stance. And from here, we're going to come back up to the top of the mat in our mountain pose. Now you might want to pause the video, rewind it and do that flow again, maybe 2 or 3 times. And once you've done enough of those, from our mountain pose, we're going to fold forward and then we're going to step back into a down dog. So we've got toes planted on the floor, just bringing the heels down gently. You might want to walk the legs out, walk the dog here, getting a really lovely stretch in the back. And if it's the first one of the day, you don't want to overstretch the legs. You might want to have a play with the knees here. And from here, we're going to sink down to the floor into a back bend, and you might want to come straight down into plank or onto your knees. So you might want to come to your knees and then go down, or you can come through in our plank, sinking down to the floor. Then pushing up into an up dog, if that's in your practice, or you can go for a sphinx. So hands slightly further forward. We're going to bring our legs up here in sphinx. And just taking a deep breath. From the sphinx or from up dog, we're going to come back into our cat-cow. So we can bring the hands back into a flat back position here on the floor. So we've got our shoulders over our wrists, hips over our knees, and we're going to invite the breath here as we stretch and extend the spine up towards the ceiling or down towards the floor. And we're going to do this with the natural rhythm of our own breath. So exhaling for our cat, bringing the head down, tucking the chin in. Inhaling for our cow, bringing the pelvis to the sky. You might want to bring your gaze up, depending on how your neck's feeling. And we're going to do a few rounds of cat-cow. Again, we're opening up the front of the body, encouraging blood flow, encouraging movement in the digestive system. And to keep doing these for a few breaths. And from here, do one more of those. We're going to come back onto our knees, bringing ourselves up into a sort of half standing pose. I'm just going to move here so you can see what I'm doing. So from here, you can bring your toes up so that your ankles are at an angle here on the floor, or feet on the floor. And we're going to have an inhale, bringing our left hand up to the sky, and then we're going to lean back and just ease ourselves onto that back ankle, giving ourselves some stability here. Again, you might want to have a block instead. just next to you or behind you. And then we're going to take an inhale and we're going to bring the hands around, swap over, right arm up to the sky, leaning back with our left hand on our ankle. This is called a dancing camel. Now we're just going to gently move from side to side. I'm just going to swap over to show you this from a side angle. You just stay there. So breathing, coming around, swapping from side to side. Making sure we remember the breath. Leaning back, opening up the chest, opening up the abdomen and the core. We'll do one more on each side. Lovely. And from here, we're going to come onto the floor. So you might want to ease yourself around using your hands. And we're going to lie down onto the floor now and bring ourselves into wind relieving pose. So we're going to have straight legs. We're going to bring one leg up and just pull the knee, just really gently encourage it into the tummy chest area. And we're going to do some rotations here. Just bringing the knee up towards us, feeling into any edges of tension in the hips. And then we're going to swap over. And you can repeat this a few times if you'd like. Just pause the video. It's going to feel really nice on the lower part of the body. You've got hips that are quite tight. Lovely. And then from here, just tucking in both of our knees to our chest. And then we're going to come up to sitting again. So you can ease yourself up with your hands or you can roll forward. From here, I'm just moving back so you can see on the video. We're going to bring ourselves into boat pose, which is very engaging for the core. So there's a couple of versions. If you want to extend the pose and challenge yourself, we can either do one leg at a time. We've got the hands out, facing up, palms facing up here to the ceiling. Or if you wanted to do two, we're just going to lean back onto our sit bones, using our core, tucking in our belly button, and then stretching the legs out. And then bringing the hands straight forward here. And we're just going to hover here for a moment, not forgetting to breathe. Lovely. And then back up to center. And then just rolling back down again. And just as a sort of posing stretch, the one we've just done, we're going to do a bridge. So we're bringing the feet flat onto the floor. Top half of the body is laying flat. And from here, we're going to inhale. I'm going to rise the hips up to the ceiling. I'm going to bring my feet in slightly here. So we're going to raise it up. You might want to bring your shoulders in and under, just underneath. And just using our thighs to push the lower body up to the ceiling. So we've got chest, belly button, hips, knees, all facing up. It can be quite nice here to place a block underneath the pelvis. You might want to use your hands. You can push yourselves up with your hands, or just have your hands down by your side. And we'll just take some breaths here. And as we're here for a few moments, you may feel that you can push even further into your feet and raising the pelvis up to the sky even more. Lovely. And then we're going to really gently, vertebrae by vertebrae, just bring the body down back to the floor. And then final pose, bringing the knees into the chest. A supine child's pose here. You might want to rock from side to side. This is giving your lower back a massage and also encouraging that energy flow in the digestive system.